What's up, guys? Jeff with Top Star Mobile Detailing, and we got my boy Connor from Bartlett's Detailing. He's one of the legends in our 777 program. We've been getting a lot of questions since we got the new van in the EcoFlow. We've been getting a lot of questions about the input, output on it, what it draws from each piece of equipment. So we thought we'd do an in-depth video on breaking down how much draw each piece of equipment actually pulls from the machine, how it recharges from the solar, as well as from plugging it into a house. So that being said, let's jump into the video. So we're gonna be testing out the EcoFlow on all the equipment that you see here. We're gonna plug this stuff in, see how much it drains from the unit. But before we do that, we're actually gonna come over here. We're gonna go through Connor's system, kind of get his feedback. He's been using the Delta Pro 3 now for how long?
About a year and a half.
Okay. And so over the last year and a half, what's your experience been like using it so far? What are some of the pros and cons that you've had with it?
There's definitely pros and definitely cons, that's for sure. My pros are it's quiet. It's perfect for me, really. The cons are doesn't last very long. I don't have solar panels on the roof to charge it, so I have to make sure I charge it at night.
When you say it doesn't last very long, can you break that down for us as far as like if you start off with 100% in the morning and then you go through your day, how does it work out for you?
So if I'm doing maintenance clients, I can roughly knock out about 6 or 7 comfortably. If I'm doing a normal car, like just a normal basic inside and out, my tier 1, it drains about 25 to 30% per car.
Okay.
So you're looking at, for that kind of stuff, 3 to 4 a day.
Okay.
Which isn't too bad.
It's not too bad if you're just doing a couple cars a day.
Now for me, the tier 2, which is your executive, I wouldn't even take this van out.
Yeah, it wouldn't get you through.
I'm lucky I have another van with gas, so I'll take that.
Yeah. Have you ever had to plug into a client's power while you're on a job to like recharge the system?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for the most part, they've been okay. I've never had anyone question it or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, it's bad. I feel bad asking, can I plug in, you know?
And what do you do that with, just like a 100-foot extension cord?
Yeah, I have a 50-foot.
50, okay.
Pretty much, that's good
So
with me.
we actually ran into that scenario. We've only had the van now a little less than a week, but our second day using it, it was extremely overcast out, right? There was not that much sun. It wasn't pulling any wattage to recharge the system. I think we started off the day around like 80%, thinking, oh, we'll be good. The sun will charge it up, you know? And we were in our, what was it, the second car quorum for the day, second car of the day. And we were noticing it was draining pretty heavy because we were using the compressor, the vacuum, the pressure washer. And we looked down at it and we're like, oh, we're at like 20%. We're gonna run out for sure, you know? So I didn't have a 100-foot cord. I tried the 50, it wouldn't reach. So I had to kind of rummage around through the client's garage, find another extension cord, plug them both together and plug in, and it was enough to get us through. But pretty much immediately after that detail, we're like, we got to go to Home Depot. We're going to need a 100-foot extension cord. So if you are running one of these systems, you want to be prepared, have that cord in case of emergency, you're going to run out or something. A 50-foot cord might not be enough depending on the driveway, how far you are from the house and stuff. And you really don't want to be relying on the customer for their equipment, their cord. So
I see myself upgrading to the...
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So our unit, the EcoFlow Ultra, puts out 7,200 watts. Do you know what yours puts out, the Delta 3?
Mine's around 3,200.
Okay. And then have you ever had any issues when you're like, you know, you're running multiple pieces of equipment, maybe like your vacuum, pressure washer at the same time?
Yeah.
Does it trip it up, or like what can you get away with on it?
So for the most part, I can get away with running air compressor and the pressure washer at the same time. As soon as I put the vacuum on, trips every time.
Okay.
So that does suck.
Yeah. And then what about as far as like vacuum and pressure washer? Can't do it?
Anything with the vacuum.
Gotcha.
I don't even try now.
Gotcha. So it's not too much of an issue for you because you're solo, right? So with Quorum and I, we're always usually working out of the same van. We're running multiple pieces of equipment. Sometimes I'll be using the pressure washer doing wheels. He'll be vacuuming and tornadoring. We've actually run all three at the same time on that, and it doesn't trip the system. it does put a huge load on
Yeah.
it. You can see the charge going down when it's
Yeah.
on it. But that being said, let's go over, we'll actually start testing out the equipment and show you guys what kind of load, what kind of draw it puts on the system. All right, so we're gonna be starting off, the EcoFlow is at 100% right now. Corm's gonna zoom in and show you guys here. So we got 0 output going out right now because nothing's actually being used. 0 input because it's at 100% and it can't charge more than 100%. But once we drain it down, it'll show you the incoming energy into the system. So that being said, I'm gonna squeeze the trigger on the pressure washer here and you can see the output. So we're looking at just over 2,000 watts on the output for this, which is a pretty big drain. If you're combining that with like a vacuum or the compressor, or you're running like an extractor or something like that, you can see that it is putting a pretty good load on the system. I'm gonna put this back and then we'll test out a couple other things, and then we'll run multiple pieces of equipment at the same time to show you guys that as well.
All right, we're gonna test the vacuum out now. Jeff's at the back, he's gonna turn it on. $1,500 watts. About 1,500 watts for the vacuum, so not as much as the pressure washer, but a fair big deal.
Yeah, pretty good amount still. Yeah. With the compressor, I gotta let a little air out because it's full right now, so we'll show you guys that. Let me drain some air out. All right, now we're gonna test out the compressor. This particular compressor is a DeWalt. It's 4 SCFM at 90 PSI. My guy Connor's actually inside. Fits perfectly back there, even though it's a low roof fan, he could still stand up with plenty of room. So go ahead and click that on, Connor. Ah, we didn't drain enough air out. All right, so let's try that again. We didn't let enough air out of the compressor, so we drained some more air out in. My guy Connor is gonna flip the switch.
Ready?
And go. Ah! How is this even possible? Take 3. All right, ready?
Yep.
Go. So just over 1,400 watts on that. Okay, you can kill it now, yeah. You can hear how nice and quiet that is in there too. You can barely even hear it. So we're looking at just over 1,400 on that. Now we're gonna run multiple pieces of equipment at the same time just to show you what the draw is on that. Right now we're just testing out the vacuum, the pressure washer, and the compressor, because those are gonna be the 3 main things that you're using on a daily basis. Then we'll get into some of the smaller stuff like your steamers, your extractor, your drill battery chargers, and the Eco blower charger as well. So what we're gonna do on this one, I'll flip on the vacuum and you'll flip back on the compressor, and then we'll hit the pressure washer, right?
Yep. Okay. Now the vacuum and the air compressor are on, and we're looking at just under 300, 3,000.
Okay, now I'm gonna add on the pressure washer.
Now we're just over 5,000 watts for all 3.
All right, so pretty heavy drain with all 3 running. All right, so now we're gonna test out some of the things that you just use throughout the day. Things like your drill brush battery charger, the battery charger for the Eco blower, and then we'll get into the steamer and extractors on those as well. So we're gonna just start off with the drill battery. See what this one drains. Okay, that's plugged in. If you can zoom in on the EcoFlow. Looks like it's pulling about 85 watts, so pretty minimal on that. You could definitely plug this in, run other pieces of equipment. It's not gonna affect it one way or the other. And then we got a bigger battery here with the Eco blower battery. Let's plug this one in. You can hear that one cranking up.
It's climbing.
Yeah, that one's pulling. Geez, still going.
There you go. 460.
So yeah, about 460 watts, 462. So this definitely gonna pull a little bit more. If you're charging that with multiple pieces of equipment at the same time, you still be able to do it. It's just gonna put a little bit more of a load on it. So again, not gonna be an issue with this particular unit, but if you're running like a Delta Pro or the Delta Pro 2 or 3, you know, it might be enough draw to put it over the edge when you're running other equipment on it as well.
Still going.
Yeah, it's still going up actually. Yeah, it's 468 looks like what we're maxed out on the wattage for this. Nope, 469. Nope. All right, so we'll move on to some of the other stuff we got here. All right, now let's test out our little Wagner steamer here. We use this on our executive details to steam out little stains, steam out the cup holders, things like that. So let's plug this little unit in and see what we got for draw. Yeah, turn this one on. All right, yeah. So that we're draining just over 1400 watts, looking at 1432. You know, so that if you're running multiple pieces of equipment at the same time off like Connor's unit, that may or may not be a factor for you guys.
That would drain big time.
Yeah, that's gonna drain pretty good. The Mighty.
Cool.
So Connor, man, I can see that you still have a pretty good hairline. Why did you shave your head bald?
Well, I had to be bald for the show that I used to perform at, and then I preferred it because I didn't have
Saves money on hair products so you can use it for detailing products.
Yeah, it was totally your choice.
Yep. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and test the Mighty, the smaller unit. Do you know which unit this one is?
It's the S Tempo.
300S.
300S Tempo. We'll start off. So the order you turn these on in it is first you're gonna put the pump on. So we'll go pump. That doesn't drain a whole lot. We're looking at like 70 watts. Then you're gonna go the heater. The heater pulls it up to 672, 674. Yeah, so pretty good difference there. And then the vacuum, running all three. Just over 1400 to run the pump, the heater, and the vacuum on the small extractor. So
Pretty similar to the steamer, though.
yeah, I'm actually shocked that the steamer was pulling more than that, but yeah, it's a pretty significant drain, you know, if you're running that with like a vacuum or a pressure washer or something.
Bigger.
Yeah, I thought it'd be more.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna be testing out the big boy extractor. Same procedure on this one. We're gonna start off with the pump. So we hit that. Not draining anything. Ah, it's ruined. It's supposed to drain something. We're gonna go with the heater. Oh, a lot more on that one. Almost 1,000. And then we'll go with the vacuum. 2,000. So yeah, just under 2,000 on that. So definitely, you know, if you're running this, if you got multiple guys on the job and one person's extracting, the other one's using a pressure washer or something, that's probably gonna trip like a system like yours, yeah. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you are running multiple pieces of equipment, you got multiple guys working out of the same unit, that's probably going to be a factor if you're working with the smaller EcoFlow. Now that we tested out all the different pieces of equipment, showed you the load that it puts on the system, we did want to go over how the solar panels work, how that recharges the system, the amount of input that comes in throughout the day. Quorum, if you can zoom in here now, it's currently showing 460. We're not in midday sun, so it will vary. We've seen it, you know, range from 100 up to the high 600s, depending on where the sun's at, if we're getting shadows or not, if it's cloudy or not. So something to keep in mind. Usually it'll recharge from one detail to the next. When Cora and I are driving around, we're en route, it's pulling full sun. It'll usually charge another 10% to 15%, depending on how far away it is. And then it is recharging throughout the course of the detail as well. So that will offset whatever equipment that you're running. So if it's taken in right now just under 500 watts and you're running something, you know, that's using 1,000, it's only really drawing 500 off the battery on it. So it will charge throughout the day. And then when you're doing like the interior, the wipe down, you're not using any power at that point. So it's just constantly recharging. Usually by the time we're done with the wipe down segment, we usually pull another like 5% of charge off the solar panels.
So for people that are living in like Oregon or Washington, would you recommend this setup for them?
You know, that's going to be a big factor, is your location, how much sun you get, whether that's going to actually be worth it for you or not. I will say this, without the solar panels, this system, I don't know how many cars we'd actually be able to get done in a day. Like we need the solar to recharge throughout the day, or we'd have to be plugging in throughout the day. Starting the day with 100 would not get us through a full day. The amount of volume that we're doing in our business, it wouldn't be enough juice to get us through a full day without some type of you know, solar power or plug it into a client's
Do you have
power.
the alternator charger?
They actually don't make the alternator charger
one?
for this unit, for the Ultra. They have it for the Delta Pro, so that could be an option for you. You know, if you wanted to maybe put that on there where you get some charge
I
throughout
just heard
the
it
day
doesn't charge much.
I've heard the same thing too. Yeah, I've heard that from a couple detailers out there that are running like an alternator charger with it. It's because if you think about how much time you're actually driving on the road, it's not a whole lot of time. You know, somewhere usually between 15 minutes to 30 minutes maybe on the road, so it's not going to give it that much juice. But so getting in the cost of like this setup for the solar panels and everything, because this is not an inexpensive setup, and that's going to be another factor, you know, whether you wanted to go that route. First of all, you have to have some type of roof rack system. So this particular roof rack was right around $3,000 for the rack. And then the solar panels, we've got two 400-watt solar panels up top there, which were right around $550 each, you know, so you're looking at just over $4,000 for the rack and the two panels. The system, the Ultra system, is right over $4,000. I think it was like $4,200 for that system.
That's
so
not bad
you know,
for that system.
It's not bad for that, but it's a big investment when you're comparing it to like a gas generator. You know, you can get a really good gas generator in between like $500 to $1,000 versus $8,000 for a setup like this. So, you know, there are pros and cons to it. One of the things that we really like, and one of the reasons we wanted to go this route, was for the sound, right? Just not having that generator cranking, especially when we're going to be filming for YouTube a lot. You know, that was a pain in the ass, constantly having to shut that off, film, turn it back on, do the work. Plus the exhaust and just the noise.
The fumes was...
Sometimes we're at clients' houses at, you know, 7 in the morning, and the neighbors don't want to hear that generator cranking out in the driveway, you know. So
Did you have clients come out or neighbors come out?
I've only had 2 people like over the last couple years that actually said anything to me where they were like, oh, you know, like I'm trying to sleep in, it's like Saturday or Sunday or something, you know, and I get it, right? I mean,
for sure.
They're trying to relax, and you're in a high-end community or something. They're paying a lot to live there, so with that in mind, you know, this doesn't really make any noise. Like if we were to close those doors, you wouldn't even hear the compressor, the vacuum. The pressure washer only makes noise when you squeeze the handle, you know, and you don't hear that when that's closed as well too. So very, very quiet setup. But let me know what you guys think out there. Is it something that you think is worth the investment? Are you guys considering going electric with like an EcoFlow system? What are you running now for your generator? Drop it in the comments below. All right, so just to go over the charging rates of the input with you, when you're running just solar as the input, it's gonna max out somewhere in the 600s with high sun, midday sun. We have an extension cord running right now. If Quorum can show you that, 100-foot extension cord running around to the other side of the van. If there's no sun, if it's nighttime, you get that plugged in, the cord is gonna pull approximately 1,600 watts. And right now, with the sun and the cord going, we're pulling in just almost 2,100 watts. So it's gonna charge really fast with both the solar and the plug at the same time. So just to kind of give you guys a little idea of what the input rate is on it and how quickly you can charge the system. All right, so before we close out the video, we wanted to do an actual detail. We're gonna do just a quick maintenance detail using Connor's unit here. It's actually at 100%, but we wanted to give you guys an idea of like the approximate percentage that it's going to drain just for doing a quick maintenance detail. We used ours to show you all the actual drain on all the products, what the load is. It's going to be the same on this unit, so the equipment would still drain the same amount of this. It's just going to drain it like faster. It's not going to last as long, basically.
And we can't use everything.
And you can't use everything at the same time. So that being said, we're going to knock out a quick maintenance detail on this Bronco that you see here. This is regularly maintained, so it's not super dirty. It just needs an exterior detail, maybe a quick vacuum out and wipe down, but we're going to show you what that load looks like on the Delta Pro 3.
What do you think about this weather, man?
Oh man, love this time of year. You know, we start off in the morning and it was in the low 60s this morning when we started, you know. Now it's maybe in the mid 70s or something. Love this time of year, love being outside. This is when detailing's actually fun. Not like doing it in the summer when you're just fighting to survive. It's that 110 to 120 degree weather is absolutely brutal. But this time of year, love it.
Connor, man, what are we gonna use for a sealant?
We're gonna try Coach Chemie Ceramic Effect Shampoo.
Okay, and then you just put that in the foam cannon?
Yeah. How many ounces did you put in?
I just did 1 glove.
1 glove, there we go.
We don't measure in ounces, we measure in glugs.
glugs.
Everybody knows that. 1 glug is equal to like 1.5 ounces. Uh-oh.
That's mine.
This doesn't go here. Is this yours?
Yeah. Oh, it smells good. Yeah. What are they?
Hey, what kind of detailing shoes are those?
That's not PPE, buddy.
What?
What
That's
kind
not-
of detailing shoes are those?
Oh, these are the detailer slides.
All right, so we just finished up the little maintenance detail. We finished out right at 91%, so not too bad. Again, it was a pretty quick detail. If you're doing a more thorough detail, you're probably gonna use up closer to 20%, maybe end up around 80.
Yep.
And if you're doing an executive, you're probably gonna use the whole
shebang.
The whole shebang
Yep.
on that, because you're talking like 4 or 5 hours
Yep.
of vacuuming, blowing stuff out.
And
Before we-
using one product at a time.
Exactly, yeah.
One chemical.
One thing we wanted to point out too, we were just talking about Connor's products here, right? And if you can see all the products he has on this door rack, as well as he has a whole nother door rack over here. How many products do you carry? And you got like about 20 different bottles total.
Yeah.
Now,
And I don't use any of them. I mean, shit. These two are the freaking same. Express interior and the Shine Supply leather cleaner. I never touched that, as you can tell.
So why are you carrying around all this stuff then? Is it just for
Good
like,
question.
for show, or just in case, or
Just
what?
in case,
Yeah.
slash the show of how clean the bottles are, but I don't use it.
Yeah. So that was one of the things when we were building out this van, is kind of why we wanted to eliminate all these bottles on the door, was just to consolidate down to those core essentials that we really use on a regular basis. And then the other issue we have, I don't know if you have this issue in the summertime, when the bottles just start squirting out from the heat and bleeding out, do you run into that too? Or?
Not so much on these sprayer heads, but the IK sprayers, I had them.
That's what we were running, the IKs, and they were constantly just squirting out.
Yeah,
like,
and they were breaking.
and breaking from the heat too. So yeah, so we're gonna try that going into the summer, see how that works with it recessed into the van. And then, you know, we're doing away with the whole bottles on the door system and kind of testing that out as an experiment.
Let me know.
Yeah, we'll let
'Cause
you
I
know,
wouldn't mind
let you
doing-
know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that wraps up this video, the review on the EcoFlow Ultra as well as the Delta Pro 3. Let us know what you guys think. Are you running this system? Are you considering running, going all electric versus gas? What are the pros and cons? Drop it in the comments below. If you guys are getting value out of this content, do us a favor, it doesn't cost you anything. Drop us a like, drop us a sub. It helps us to grow the channel, helps us keep providing free content for you guys out there. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.